Okay guys, this is not a drill, this is not fake news. Counter-Strike 2 has actually just been announced by Valve about 10-15 minutes ago. Absolutely insane, they've dropped so much information. We're going to run through some of it briefly here, and I'll drop down the links to the more in-depth stuff in the description down below. It's coming though in the summer of 2023, which means we're going to get the Blast Paris Major as the last major on Counter-Strike as we know it. And then there'll be that transition month or so, and then boom, CSGO 2 comes out, Counter-Strike 2, and then we go into another major later this year. We get the first CS2 major. So exciting, and they've dropped so much in this. That's what we're running through now. Okay, so this webpage will be linked in the description, but this is the Counter-Strike 2 page that Valve have posted on Twitter that you can access to. There's an FAQ, there's lots of different details here. So the first thing we have is the next era of Counter-Strike begins this summer. Gonna have all these new features that we'll highlight now, but the main thing is Counter-Strike 2 arrives this summer as a free upgrade to CSGO, so you can build your loadout, hone your skills, and prepare yourself for what's next. What I like about this though is it says you can build your loadout, which we already knew they weren't going to hinder or mess with the skins market, but this confirms it. Your skins are safe. Build your loadout, carry it into Counter-Strike 2. Be really interesting to see if this makes any fluctuation on the market. First thing here is responsive smokes they've put in. So we'll play a little bit of this here. We'll turn the audio down and we'll flick through. One, look at the animations here. Look, this is overpass. Looks so different. Look at truck, look at bank, everything, just the textures. Like, the smokes to me still look a little bit weird, but overall the textures and everything just look that so much better. But the big things here, look, it goes into shapes. So rather than just like blooming in that one default area, it can mold into shapes. What looks interesting though is that bullets can affect it, and also nades. Like a nade is completely getting rid of a smoke. So if you've got an area smoked off and your enemy throws a smoke into it, can they just run like right through and impact it? It just looks crazy at the minute. The gunplay, the animations, everything. So look, it's now got the ability to interact with other gameplay events, creating new opportunities. Bullets and HEs can push smoke to briefly clear sight lines or expand. It will expands to fill spaces naturally, like we've just said. So that'll be very interesting for like different corridors and stuff. So rather than just blooming that same sort of like circular space, if you put it, I'm thinking like in a narrow area. Short might not be the best example on Inferno, but even Banana. Drop a smoke and banana rather than just blooming in like one corner now. That might go even deeper, block off more space. And then it reacts to lighting as well, which you kind of expected with the new engine. So that's the first thing. Smokes. Huge big update. The next thing. They're moving beyond tick rate. There were so many questions about this, and we didn't know where it was going to go. But now, what you see is what you get. You don't have to learn 64 tick util. You don't have to learn 128 tick util. You just shoot, throw, play the game as it is. It doesn't change. Everyone is playing the same game regardless of what you're on, which is massive. So it no longer matters. Sub-tick updates are the heart of Counter-Strike 2. Previously, the server only evaluated the world in discrete time intervals called ticks. Thanks to Counter-Strike 2's sub-tick update architecture, servers know the exact instant that motion starts, a shot is fired, or a nade is thrown. As a result, regardless of tick rate, your movement and shooting will be equally responsive, and your grenades will always land the same way. So there's two big things in this. One is matchmaking in general now, like in-game matchmaking will be not an issue. 64 tick beforehand compared to 128 felt awful, and also if you got to a certain level where you were learning different bits of movement or utility, transitioning between the two was a little bit awkward. The second one is then utility. Like how many times, like even the window flash for Banana to take control of Inferno, like you have to line that simple jump through flash up differently at the minute for 64 and 128. You won't have to anymore. It's all going to be the same. One, it makes it so much easier for you guys to learn, but two, content creators like myself, when we're teaching you these nade videos, like, you don't have to worry about if it's going to work in a different server. It's always going to be the same. And then the video that I've not seen yet is Counter-Strike 2 leveling up the world, where it's cleaner, brighter, and better. So from upgrades to overhauls, the maps are going to be cleaner, brighter, better. They've been fully rebuilt from the ground up, leveraging all of the new Source 2 tools and rendering features. So from the ground up is definitely interesting. So here you go. Here's an example. So they picked Overpass for this, which is interesting to know because we can sort of imagine that Overpass is going to be in the map pool then for the start of CS2, 100% if they're doing this sort of thing. So here's the split. So obviously this is what it looks like in CSGO. It's not horrible, but it's not brilliant. But as we drag across CS2, you can see definitely they've added more into it. Like there's more lampposts, there's more like bushes, there's more just stuff like that, more detail in general. The shadows are much more drastic. But it just looks so much more like aesthetically pleasing. It's easier on the eye. It's what the game needed, was that modern uplift. Then we'll look at lower tunnels, for example. So look, it's super dark, which it should be. It's a lower tunnels with some lighting. But here, things are just a little bit clearer. Everything just vision-wise just heightens that a little bit more. And here we've got bathrooms. So look, this is what CS2 looks like for bathrooms. Look how clean and smooth that looks. Regardless of what resolution you're playing at, that's going to look slick. Compared to the old one, which obviously it has that grimy feel. It's like an abandoned bathroom. It's maybe what it's going to look like. But it's so much easier on the eye to look at. And then we've got bomb site A as well. This is the one that was catching me off a lot. This is CSGO, and this is what it looks like now. Just the colors, even the truck texture, the changes on the truck look absolutely wild to me. And also, they've changed, like, how long, like, the interest of long. Look, it's now got a bit over it, so that might affect, like, impact util a little bit. Can I catch on that? And then we've got upgrades to the maps. So Source 2 Lighting, we've already commented on it a little bit here. So this is Nuke. Now, honestly, for Nuke, it's only the only one so far where I'm like, I kind of preferred the older version. The rest so far has definitely been there. I think maybe just the one screenshot they've used in this case, you're getting a lot of light coming through the windows. But again, I wonder, how could that change if the windows are broken, possibly? Ramp, for example, I think looks a lot better. Like, it's so much easier on the eye, which I know maybe if you're... I mean, half the pros play on, like, 4x3, super low resolution. So it's not always about, like, how well it looks, but the core player base will be 1080p, want a visually appealing game. This is going to bring it. T-Spawn's base is essentially just brighter. And then the same goes for tunnels. You can see little small tweaks that they've done in the map, though. And then we've got touchstone maps, classic maps with solid foundations that players can use to evaluate gameplay changes from CSGO to Counter-Strike 2. These have improvements to lighting and character read, but otherwise haven't been changed. So look at that, like Dust 2, classic map, foundation. I know it was removed from the pool and probably needs some tweaks, but look at that. It has stayed exactly the same, just with the tweaks on the lighting and details. I see long A doors. Exactly the same, just with some tweaks on the lighting and details. So they're having very focused on not changing the fundamentals of how things play. We can see a slight change, actually, in the building here for CS2, but the rest of it, like what's actually on the map, outside of the externals that you're seeing, it's all remaining identical. And the Source 2 tools and render features will be available for the community map makers to make it easier to build, experiment, and iterate. Stay tuned for Source 2 Item Workshop, which will be available later on a limited test. So that's super interesting in itself. I don't map, but like different workshop maps you can see, they're always so fun to jump into, especially maps that can teach you things about CSGO, learn movement, that sort of idea. Having them being able to do maps like that, but also maps that maybe go into the competitive playlist a little bit more, super, super interesting. And then the big one here, your items in a whole new light. Bring your entire CSGO inventory with you to Counter-Strike 2. Not only will you keep every single item you've collected over the years, but they'll all benefit from Source 2 lighting and materials. In addition to supporting legacy models and finishes, all stock weapons have been upgraded with high-resolution models, and some weapon finishes take advantage of these new models. So you can see some of the knives there, and you can definitely see the lighting on it. It's a small difference. It'll be interesting to see how they inspect in game, but this is huge news for people that your skins are safe. They're not going anywhere. We're getting near the end of the page here, so we've got high dev VFX from UI to gameplay. All visual effects have been reimagined. That blood splatter is very graphic, which will be an interesting one. Environmental effects, experience completely reauthored. Explosions, fire. Oh my god, the fire looks insane. Look at the purple haze on it. Again, the one for something like the mollies will be really interesting. Like, they've obviously changed. Oh my god, the explosion looks insane. They've changed smokes to be like that sort of dynamic. I wonder if mollies, like, are they going to remove like the weird molly one way you can get, like how it changes with visual settings? That'll be interesting. UI enhancements, this is like the little things which do make a difference. The only thing I'm not sold on so far in the UI is the health bar at the bottom. I love this whole sort of like different animation and glow around like when you get a promotion in matchmaking. That looks super slick, super cool. But all, like this little HUD at the bottom with the I'm guessing bullet counter there, A1S 20 bullets, 100 health. Not 100% sold. And then they've reworked the audio as well, which I mean, I'm not an audio nerd, so we'll not dive into it, but there's more to come. Limited test only evaluates a subset of Counter-Strike 2's features so that major issues can be resolved before the summer, but there's more to come. In a few months, we'll reveal all the details. So guys, Counter-Strike 2 is here. It's coming this summer. It's insane. As I say, the link to this main page will be below, and then also any of the YouTube videos or tweets that Valve have put up, I'll link them down below so you guys can access. But absolutely insane stuff. I'm pumped for this game to come out, or sorry, the game to come out. It's an update for Counter-Strike, isn't it? So we're going to have Paris Major, we're going to have a new game. Super, super exciting time for Counter-Strike. Hit that like button if you're excited as well. Hit the subscribe button if you're right here as we start to build out our community a bit more going into Counter-Strike 2. And let me know what you're looking forward to most down below. I really like the smoke changes and the tickless changes. That's super interesting for me. We'll catch you in the next one, guys. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.